Good morning, friends. We begin the one-day exploratory session. In fact, we kept it exploratory in the sense that there are several developments in the field of education technology, particularly related to AI, artificial intelligence. And you know that AI, ChatGPT is in news everywhere. Everywhere you find that lot of write-up is there, both on positive side as well as some of the concerns which they are showing. We thought we'll share with our colleague, our friends in different parts of the country. Therefore, we propose a program of one-day exploratory session on use of AI in higher education. And you will find several other aspects of AI which is going to be discussed. We are going to have 3 sessions. First session is going to be on the how AI has developed over a period of long time and where we are today. In fact, ChatGPT-4 is making a big noise, and therefore many people are saying that let us stop at this place, and many of the experts and technologists, they say let's go ahead with this and let's go to ChatGPT-5. So there is a tussle going on. So I said we will be having some first discussion, exploratory aspect of the AI in higher education, and there we have Professor Pant and Bhavana Chipper. She is going to speak on this aspect, and then we are going to have some kind of discussion on implementation of NEP 2020 and focus on multidisciplinary as well as outcome-based education, and how AI can be linked, how can be used for the purpose of achieving implementation of NEP 2020 with a focus on outcome-based learning as well as multidisciplinary. That session will be going, and followed by it is presentation by Deepak Murdia and Snehal Moge on generative AI and where AI is being used for the purpose of higher education. When I am going to speak on the implementation, I will also share with you the UNESCO's present guideline on use of AI that I will discuss with you at that. Followed by that, Deepak Modi and Snehal Mogi are going to discuss with you about the several aspects of AI, and particularly generative AI, how it's being used for the higher education in general. Then we are going to have a presentation by Deepak Gadge. There is a little change. Dr. Gadge has to attend something. He is going to speak from the Mysore online, and he is going to speak on the use of blockchain technology in higher education institutions of higher education. We'll have a lunch break, 12:30 after 2 o'clock between this thing. And then we are also going to have a presentation followed by this on cyber security, which is very important these days. It's becoming very important aspect. And Dr. Vanna Gulia is going to speak on cyber security. This is going to be 3 sessions which are taken. There will be enough time for our interaction in between after the presentation. We have kept it good number of persons joining online, because nowadays people prefer joining online rather than person to person, in person. But still we have people joining in person, and then there will be people who are going to join, already joining on the virtually. Then we will have discussion networking on the subject, and then followed by any other questions, etc. We'll take it. What we are proposing after these 3 days, 3 sessions or exploratory session for 1 day, we are going to cast it properly with a lot of presentation and text as well as audio video presentation, and then followed by whatever discussion takes place during this period throughout the day. We'll make it available online to all those people who would be interested in these 3 areas, the use of AI in higher education, and particularly those who are trying to use it for implementing NEP and other aspects of it. With this, I welcome you and I welcome Professor Pant, because Professor Pant is a motivator, initiator on many other things. In fact, he said that we had started in 1984 use of IT in the colleges, and large number of people attended the program IT, and they benefited out of it. This is the same time now that we should try to give some orientation, some exposure of a detailed aspect will be taken later on by the experts, but so that people are not only made aware, but they are inspired to use the latest technology for the solution to the problems of higher education. In fact, there are 2 or 3 areas which will emerge in the process of discussion. How, and Professor Pants was very much, and he said that, okay, let's start this thing, and he made all the arrangements and said, okay, let's go ahead, whatever number of people would be there, let's begin, and then we'll try. So he has been not only motivator, initiator, and then proposing new area. He is running a WhatsApp channel, 321, where large number of people are participating and they are sharing their ideas, they are sharing their thinking, and it is a very topic, not only AI, but all other topics are there. So I'll now request Professor Pant to, I welcome all of you, those who are online, as well as those who are present here. Dr. Chibber has already joined us, and many other people. Dr. Moge is online. Moge is going to join us shortly, and many other people will join. I welcome all of you and request Professor Pant to initiate presentation, and welcome from his side. Professor Pant.
Thank you, sir.
So, very good morning to all of you, and we are very happy that we have more people joining us remotely than in person. This has been our hope for a long, long time, that is the world that we will have, and COVID facilitated it. Today's session is really very interesting, and it's something which most people are not following. I really like a quotation by one of the spokesperson. He used to say, I will do today what others are not doing, or he said, I'll do today what others won't today, so that tomorrow I can do what others can't. And this is the point about our becoming aware of AI. AI has been a long time coming. I have been dealing with this for now 50 years or more, when AI was being talked about and initial experiments were being done. Many of us may not be aware, but in India we had one of the leading institutes called National Center for Software Technology in Bombay, which is an offshoot of TIFR Bombay, where AI has been pursued from 1970 onward. In the early years, AI was attempting to work through what is called expert systems. And expert systems were basically what humans adopted as rules for their working. So when you had a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer or a scientist, we probably knew there are certain practices that they adopt. And the idea of these expert system program was to emulate them or simulate them. So if a doctor went through a certain reasoning, if this is so, it could be this, it could be that, and they would then write programs in languages which are called Lisp and Prolog and so on and so forth. But these things did not yield useful results. So it was good for scientists and developers to create such programs, but nobody in real life would use them. And that is where we had what was called an AI winter, where actually people stopped pursuing AI. Now people are making a demand, as Professor Sharma said, that we should not do AI, but there was this thing that AI is no longer useful. There's a very famous Lighthill report, which said that this is all right for scientists and people who are looking at that, but it has no practical value. But AI received a resurgence post-internet. So after internet and some of the other recent things, AI received a big flip. And there were broadly 3 reasons for it. And this is important for us to understand, because this will help us appreciate the rest of the journey. The first was faster processors. Now, much of the original computer programming was done with processors which did linear problem solution, couldn't do graphics, couldn't do video, couldn't do audio, and so on and so forth. But the new generation of games had faster processors. So people first realized that having a GPU rather than a CPU speeded up work. So as GPUs become cheaper and cheaper and games became more and more popular, this was a big thing. The second thing was change in approach. Rather than trying to find out how humans behave, the thing was we'll go to the data itself. So rather than building a model which is emulating what a doctor is doing and diagnosis of disease, he said let's have all the data. What kind of symptoms mean what kind of disease with no doctor interpreting it, and that is being interpreted by mathematical models. And this was the second big step, and this is where the development of a field called machine learning started happening. And the third was getting that data. Now, if you had very little data, you couldn't train that machine learning model to become meaningful. With the internet, you could get data from all kinds of places, so we are all contributing to every time you make a social media post, you do everything, you send an email, you send a WhatsApp message, you are adding data to the universal data pool. So with these three things, faster processors, newer models of learning, and more data, we had better and better models, so that now, a few years back, you saw AI applications which were really useful. The key to this is what is called a learning algorithm. And I will share with you the precise definition of a learning algorithm so that you understand what AI can do and more important what it can't do. Because sometimes we make AI appear like a monster which is out to kill us. You will understand that it's not really so. So all AI works on what are called learning algorithms. And the best definition of learning algorithm is in a book by Thomas Mitchell on machine learning. And I'm quoting that in academic honesty, and also that anybody who hears that knows that it is from that book. So might as well acknowledge it. A learning algorithm for a given task T with performance measure M or P is such that the performance measure P improves with experience E. Now, look at it carefully. It is an algorithm for a given task. This is why it is called narrow intelligence. So when a computer or a AI software can do face recognition, it can do face recognition. It cannot recognize your voice. For voice recognition, you need another. You want to know gait recognition? You need another one. You need handwriting recognition? You need another one. So it will do one task at a time. Of course, you can say, I will put all these tasks and create a big system which can do all that. Yes, that is what the progress is. But just because it can do face recognition better than others doesn't mean that it can do all other tasks better than us. So this is a very important thing to understand, that it is narrow intelligence. There has to be a performance measure. And this is what is very important. Very often in human efforts, we don't say that. We say, "Achhe din aayenge." What is the performance measure? We don't state. But here you have to state. Is it 90% accurate, 97% accurate, 98% accurate? And for many things, 90% accuracy is not acceptable, and that is why in many countries, face recognition is not acceptable for identifying criminals. Because in criminal law we say it must be above all errors. Only then will we declare somebody a criminal. It is high probability or suspicious is not enough. So you can use face recognition for allowing people to come in, come out, etc., but not for identifying that as criminals in open civilized society. In China they can do that. but so on. And the third is the experience E. This is that the more data that you put in, and in learning algorithm, there are three techniques: supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning, sometimes also called transfer learning, which means that the more data you have, the better the solution becomes. And this is very important because very often we don't appreciate that part. So, some time back, the human chess champion Garry Kasparov was defeated by the IBM Blue AI software. And Garry Kasparov was totally shocked because 1 year before he had defeated the computer. The computer and the human champion have been playing for several years, and the human champion was winning. And when he lost, he actually believed that they found a better human champion and they are making the computer follow their moves. It took him a long time to accept that actually the computer has learned better than him. And this is very, very important. Today, for example, you will hear in conversations, especially about ChatGPT, that people say ChatGPT couldn't do this, ChatGPT couldn't do that, and so on and so forth, or it did something wrong. That is because it didn't have enough data. As it has more and more data, it will become better and better. We have now seen already that the Go game champion, the human champion, he lost to AI and he said, I will not play, I cannot play better than this machine. And before I let Bhavna share with you many specific details, I want to touch this delicate question that will the AI become a better teacher than a human being? Till now, we lived in the illusion that it can't. You will hear so many articles, so many things, including, oh, no, AI can never be better than a human being. Human teacher is this, human teacher is that, and so on. Let me tell you, that is all wrong. No human teacher will be able to compete with the AI in a very short time. What that time is, whether it is 2 years or 3 years or 5 years, is a matter of detail. It will happen faster than we think. Some people have already run that, and this is something which we need to, and that is why this session is so important. Because just like Garry Kasparov is no match to IBM Blue, and the human Go champion is no match to the computer, a human teacher will be no match to the AI system. Now, you can always say that there are a few things which humans do, but that is not related to what is going on. When I talk of a human teacher and this thing, I'm saying what a teacher does in a classroom. What the average teacher, we have millions of teachers in India, what the average teacher is doing in a classroom will be done better by AI. And I will give you a reason for that. Many people actually, when I say this, get agitated, they want to disagree, and their best method of disagreeing is to point towards me and say, but sir, you are such a good teacher. How can an AI replace you? And then I explain to him why an AI will replace me and replace me very soon. I tell them, so why do you think I am a good teacher? Because I studied in a good school, I had good teachers in my school level, I studied in a good university, I had great teachers at the university level, I did postdoc, I have no hesitation. After my PhD thesis was examined by a Nobel laureate, I have sat with Nobel laureates, at least a dozen Nobel laureates I have interacted with, and so on and so forth. And that is why today, with so much experience, I am a good teacher and a good communicator. But that AI has experience and data of thousands of teachers like me. Teachers who have taught at Stanford, teachers who have taught at Harvard, teachers who have taught at Oxford, teachers who have taught at Cambridge. That AI has all the data. And I may forget what I did in 1970 or 1980 or even 2020, but it remembers all that. And it will recall the appropriate thing from that. And therefore, there will be no human teacher who will be comparable to the AI solution once all that data has been fed in. And therefore, we should be clear that new things, so creativity, innovation, etc. is fine. So that's exactly the point that we are coming to. And higher education will be all about creativity, innovation, thinking, new views. See, there is no only one view or two views, there can be thousands of views of things. And this is what higher education has to do. It's not about repeating what people have said. Earlier, I remember my senior people, when they were in the words of Lasky, in the words of this, you don't say in the words of that, you say what you think of what you have before us. And lot more data is coming. And I want to close by telling you the amount of information we are generating today is enormous. All of us, when we grew up in school until recently, we knew that we are part of the solar system. We are planet number 3 on the solar system. There are 9 planets, this, that. Now the James Webb Space Telescope has said there are trillions of galaxies. Each galaxy is a large number of suns. Each of those suns have a number of planets. And we are one of trillion objects on the earth. That is the point. So the purpose of higher education is going to be more about exploring new frontiers of knowledge rather than just keep on repeating what was already known. That will be there, it is there, people can directly access that. The role is going to be about pushing the frontiers of knowledge, creating interdisciplinary, cross-disciplinary, all kinds of knowledge, so on. So it's a very exciting time. It's going to be as exciting as no other point in history. So for you to now become part of that excitement, to do and to really know what are the tools, how you could do it, we will have Bhavna Chibbar, who's done a great analysis, very nice reports, and she has even touched on some of these issues about whether humans will take control of the future or AI will take control of the future. Many of these very interesting things are going to come on. So we will have presentations from Bhavna, and of course we will have discussions amongst ourselves, and I'm sure participants who want to raise questions, ask questions, even that we will do that. And this will give you a glimpse of the future of education. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I think you in a nutshell given how AI can do better job than individual being. And we sometimes used to have the team teaching, 2-3 person would join, and the judges, 5 judges sit together to apply 5 minds. AI applies hundreds and thousands of minds collected, and that's what he has ably put it together, that this is change. And then end sentence, what he said is exploring and also innovating and changing. In fact, the teacher's role in higher education is going to be much, much different than what we have been. We have been doing treasury, lot of treasury, and the treasury will go. And now you're thinking, the other day in the college post, I given one cartoon, somebody. They said, AI is, are you fearful of AI? He said, no, I'm not fearful, but what I'm worried about is that declining intelligence of the human being. That is where the challenge is there. Now we are going to have more discussion on this aspect. Let Dr. Bhavna Chibbar make presentation, and then followed by we'll have discussion. In the meanwhile, if you have some questions, please do raise. Okay, gaib ho gaya. If you have some questions, you can raise by the time she comes on the stage. Any person, Dr. Sharma would like to make any observation? Or Nair? Any observation like to make before Dr. Bhavna Chibbar comes on the stage? Aji. Yeah.
What I would think is that the takeaway that Sir has discussed, one is that the creativity part of it, as well as connecting the school education with the higher education is obviously the schools are the incubation centers, and the higher education is the launch pad, and industry is the place where ultimately the child is going to land into it at the age of 22. Now we are saying that most of the technologies and all those machine learning, etc., will become obsolete after 5 years. So that is also one of the challenges where the teachers, not only the teachers, the faculty from the institutions and the universities as well as the school education should be interconnected so that the industry is benefited and that will contribute into the nation building and the growth of GDP of our country. Thank you, Thomas.
Anybody? Aman or they would like to make some observation?
So, good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Reshma Vats. I'm really pleased to be here in this workshop on AI. And I understand that all of us being educators are really in dilemma at this time that, what would happen to the future of education. So listening Professor Pant, I can foresee now that, what are the things that are in pipeline. And we as educators have always tried to benefit our students, one way or another. So let us take AI also as one more medium of reaching out to our students. And let us see how the workshop, proceeds further. Bhavna is ready now. I'm giving the mic to her. Thank you, Bhavna.
Thank you so much.
Okay, okay. So let me invite Dr. Bhavana Chibber. She had made a lot of preparation for this. In fact, she presented this thing before the very senior academics in Delhi in Habitat Center. It was highly appreciated. We have published our paper in College Post on use of various tools of AI, and that was appreciated by our readers so much. So now I request Dr. Bhavana Chibber to make a presentation on use of AI in higher education. Dr. Chibber.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir, Sharma sir, and I'm highly honored.
Ma'am, you are not audible, please.
Okay, is mic on? नहीं तो मैं Yeah, I believe that will be the better way. Yeah, perfectly fine.
You're more comfortable there?
Yes, sir. I'll use this presentation. So.
नहीं,
I don't want to sit, sir.
खड़े होके पढ़ाएंगे और
हाँ.
हम लोगों को बीच में खड़ा
सर हमें आदत है खड़े होके पढ़ाने की.
हम लोगों को भी बीच में खड़ा
हाँ. So today I believe we all have heard sir, and we know sir has just touched upon a very important factor, that is creativity. This is what new education policy is talking about. This is where we have to work on the whole education system. It's a paradigm shift which we are looking for, and AI is just a tool which will enable us to do so. Now, proceeding further, just now Naya sir has touched upon a very important factor, that we need to bridge a gap between the K-12 segment and the higher education, and then we need to see how we can prepare our learners to be industry ready. Now, over to the presentation. I've just tried to make it concise, precise, focusing on the very important aspect. AI in education, I just want to give you, there are so many things, there are so many pictures which we could see. N number of pictures are there, N number of applications are there which we have already discussed. So AI is everywhere now. There is nothing has been untouched where we are not applying AI applications. From reservations to hotel bookings to education, everywhere it is there. Coming on to this, according to the statistics, I have just penned down few resources. AI in higher education, according to the report of Holland IQ, the global market for AI in education is projected to reach $6 billion by 2025. In a survey of higher education leaders conducted by the Higher Education Cloud Report, 51% of respondents said that they believe AI will significant impact. I am just giving you the statistical evidence what sir has said. That is nothing. We can't say that the human being will not be replaced. So this is a statistic that how much money has been invested to take this into the higher education. A study of EdTech Digest found that 62% of the students believe that AI and machine learning technologies will play a significant role in their education. Then a survey of McKinsey Global Institute found that 30% of higher education activities could be automated with currently available technology. In a report by Pearson, 90% of education administrators said that they believe AI will have positive impact. A survey by Center for Digital Education found that 50% of higher education institutions are already using AI in some capacity. So this is just starting of 2023, or you can say mid of 2023, but we are here and see the statistics. So that's the reason the sir was so prominent in saying that yes, the day will come. So this is how the world is leading. Now this is where.
Interestingly, she mentioned Pearson. Pearson के shares गिर गए हैं जब से ChatGPT आया.
True. So this is geographical distribution of the AIED. AIED is a short form of artificial intelligence in education. I will be using this term. HE stands for higher education. So this is North America, this is Europe, this is Asia, Africa, Oceania, then South America, Asia, India. We have only one center. So this is right now the status is here. So the world is proceeding, the investments are going on, but the way forward is, I believe everywhere it will be when we will be. Yes sir, these are the pattern of the growth of the implementation of AIED. Sir, basically when we talk about higher education, the purpose of higher education, all the universities, the more the university is famous where they have more patents. So this is what is that right now this India got only one patent, rest of the countries have n number of patents. You can just see the list here. Yes sir. Yes sir. US got 21, Canada got 7, and America got Colombia got 1, Chile got 1. So this is how we say that yes, the particular university or the particular country is exceeding in that. Next sir. So the connection between AI and educations are complex, and we need to learn more and more for that reason. So use of AI in higher education, there are 5 areas which I have just mentioned here: personalized learning, intelligent tutoring, predictive analytics, administrative tasks, and research. These are the 5 key areas where we need to, as in higher education segment, we need to work on. I will be further detailing in talking about. Here I just have used a coin here. I've given you a brief how AI is moving forward and how it is being implemented. Now I just want to put it in 2 buckets, or I'm just saying it that is a 2 face of a one coin. One is AI, teaching of AI in education. One is application of AI in education. Just click कीजिए. Now more we will be emphasizing on application of AI in education, which is termed as AIED. Today in this session we will be talking about applications of AI in the education sector. I have taken it because I am from a K-12 segment, so I have taken it as a whole education sector. So now let's discuss this side of a coin. Now there are 3 areas which we need to deal on. One is student focused AIED, teachers focused AIED, and institution focused AIED. There are 3 areas wherein in any institution we need to work on. So how AI can be applied for the benefit of the institution, for the benefit of the teacher, for the benefit of a student. Let's proceed with the institution focus because we are representing, we all are there as a heads of that. So let's talk about the institution focused. when we talk about institution, how we can apply AI for the admissions, for the course planning, scheduling, timetabling, school security, identifying dropouts and student at risk, e-proctoring. So these are the areas where AI can be a support system and it will help us to move and work in a better manner. This is all from the resources is from this research paper. I will be sharing few research papers which I have already shared with Sharma sir. I request you to please go through all that papers, and I will be sharing one handout full of the AI tools related to different applications which I will be sharing right now. Application of AI, when we talk about, first is institution. How AI can helpful in getting the admissions and everything. So what are the benefits for this institution we just discussed. Now how AI will help students, intelligent tutoring systems, AI assist apps, AI assist simulations, AI to support learners with disabilities. This is a very big area. Number of, even the government is applying so much of research in this area because we are focusing on the inclusive education. So a lot of research and number of tools are available right now, and still the research is going on. Automatic essay writing, chatbots, automatic formatting of assessment, learning network orchestras, dialogue-based tutoring systems, exploratory learning environment. So these are the areas where we can apply the AI for the further development. Next is how. So there are n number of tutoring systems. You can see Byju's are there. We can see here Topper is there, which we are already seen in this area, and there are number of, I've just taken out the data. So there are n number of resources, n number of applications are available which will help you. Right now among kids in K-12 segment, Physics Wala is very famous. Number of students are registering online sessions for that reason. So now there are a few more the reference from where I got the data I have already mentioned. I will be sharing this with you all. From this website I got it. So these are the 4 most important chatbot. This is specifically for the higher education. Otherwise we have ADA, Genie, EduBot, LA, MDA, WoBot. Means there are n number of chatbots which are available, which are helping the students. Even the universities are creating their own chatbots for that reason. Let us interact. It is basically an interactive module. So we have Mongoose Harmony by Drift, Amazon's Q&A bot, IBM's Watson, HubBot by HubSpot. So these are the 4 important you can say chatbot which you can share or you can use in the higher education. Next, very important thing, we talk about institution, we talk about student. Now what about the professor, the teacher? I have not mentioned here professor, but the teacher is teacher. So teacher focused plagiarism detection. You know, it's a chat GPT, whatever I have the presentation, maybe the research paper is made by chat GPT and you are giving it. So AI detector is there. So teacher must be aware of what AI detector she has to use to check the plagiarism, because maybe the content which she is receiving as a research study of one of the student of her might be made by an AI only. So she must be aware of how to check. So plagiarism detector, it is not about the text, it is all about who has written the text. So ChatGPT is what? It is basically a tool which give you the advantage, and earlier the Google used to give you the websites. Okay, then you used to just open the website, copy it, collect it, and plagiarism, it used to tell us that this line is from this website, this line is from this website. Now ChatGPT has made it simple. It will collate the data, reframe it and give it to you. But again there is, being a teacher, I should be one step ahead from my learner. So I must know how to use AI detection tools, that the content which I received is from the original work of my student or not. So curation of learning materials, yes, teacher need the support, classroom monitoring, automatic summative assessment, AI teaching assistance, including assessment and assistant, classroom. So everywhere the teacher can implement an AI, and let's see how. Auto curation of learning material. This is what is, there are few I have mentioned here. Teacher advisor, there are n number of resources. Even I have seen, if you connect with CBSE Academics website, you will see that there are number of tools, number of the applications which has been in support for the teachers. They are helping the teachers basically how to create lesson plan, how to say right now there is a change in the assessment policy for board classes. So now the teachers need a hand holding because the teachers are from the different era. So now I am quoting it era because the time has changed. So MCQs, the teacher is not trained for it. So there are n number of trainings has been provided. So now the teacher can create, if she know how to implement that. There are n number of tools. I have just mentioned few. There will be few more which I will be sharing. Next, teacher coaching is there. We can use AI tools to train teachers. Right now also we are having, it's not an AI model which we are using right now, but it's an online model. You all are connected. So AI coach is there. Then we have teaching assessment. Checking is the biggest problem for the teachers. The teacher is teaching around 300 students to say if she has 5 sections, 4 sections, so the strength may be vary from 100 to 300 depending on the class size. So the checking is very difficult. Every time they look for, not in the higher education, I am talking about the K-12 segment. So there are so many tools which support teacher assessment also, and there are many LMS by so many companies, EdTech companies, which are helping the teachers to do the assessment. I have just mentioned two. Next. Then we have lesson and material generation. Creating a lesson plan is a Herculean task for the teacher. The teacher always thought of how to make it, how to do it. So there are even ChatGPT create a very nice lesson plan. The only thing is this, how you guide ChatGPT to create that. But it creates a beautiful lesson plan. I have already used and seen that. So next. AI has the potential, thank you. AI, okay, it's on this mode, switch it off. I've made an animation in that, so little bit, this is the one. So, in this complicated and competitive context, the employment of AI in higher education institution is related to a number of modern issues which are as follows. So, why we need AI? What are the issues? What are the problems why we are looking for? Expert and expensive technology, social abilities, displacement of workers, technical issues, kinesthetic is lacking, sentiments and ethical behavior, intelligence of men. So, there are few reasons which I have just documented, and I'll be coming on to the area. So, can you please? Yeah. So, AI has the potential. Hold it. It's okay, fine. See, basically here I have written that AI has the potential to enhance the productivity, to enhance the learning, n number of the the earlier slides shows how AI is helpful, and this is how this number of issues which we can focus, which we can not able to solve through AI. So there are two parts of it. Next is, now what tools which we can use. Gradescope, IV Chatbot, Altitude Learning, Cogni, Noji, Quarium, Century Tech. So these are few tools which I have just jotted down for you all, because there are I could say plethora of information is available on the web, Google Baba, but we need to just curate few resources which are helpful to us, which will help us to work more efficiently. So these are the few tools. This is specifically made in to keep the benefit of the education. So coming on to the next. Okay, I have few more. Just use the pen drive. The same name PPT, please open it. Yeah. This next one, sir. Yeah, please open it. Come on to the last. Now I'll be focusing on, because here I have to share with you all the number of AI tools which you can implement practically to enhance your productivity, or you can empower yourself more and more. Now coming on to this, these are the tools. Next. Before I start, I will just focusing on this will be the handout for you all, so that you can take a reference of it as and when required, because in this session it will not be easy for me to go through each and every link and explain you. So this is what these are the key areas which I have just documented, the reason behind it, which I have already shared. Now next to it is, so now these are the links, these are the tools which I was just emphasizing. Gradescope is the AI tool which allows students to analyze one another while providing comments, which is time consuming activity in the absence of AI technology. The problem is this, the child has a curiosity in the mind, and that has to be answered then and there. Otherwise else it kills the curiosity. So these tools help the students. Now this is Gradescope. Another one is IV Chatbot, is a collection of conversational AI solution built exclusively for universities and colleges. They help with application paperwork, enrollment, tuition costs, deadlines and other. So this will also help you. You can have it in your university. Next is Altitude Learning, is an online professional learning platform that focuses on learning centered education. Its primary purpose is to assist. Next is Cogni, is to educational path. Next is Cogni, is another Boston-based firm that creates AI-based products for K-12 and higher education both. This is the link. It is frequently used in business training settings. Noji, an audio-visual vocabulary program that incorporates current educational research. There is Aquarium, is an artificial intelligence platform that assists kids in mastering important STEM skills. Century Tech, based in London, provides an AI platform that uses cognitive neuroscience and data analytics to create individualized learning plans for students. Next is Talk to Books. This is very interesting. Those who are good readers, please go through this link. You will really love this tool. Magic Eraser. This is very interesting. Say for example, we clicked a picture here and there is a chair here or a podium here. You can simply click with this, because sometimes it happens that you click some picture and something that was not in your mind while clicking, something is cropped up or some say pillar is there. So you can use this Magic Eraser tool within a second you will delete that very easily. It's very interesting. And ELSA is there. ELSA is an AI powered language learning application that analyzes speech and then creates a set of user assignments. ELSA is available for, this is an app, this is for iOS, Android powered devices, so you can use that also. Next is Scortic. This is AI powered app, comes directly from Google. Quillbot, I believe so many people are using Quillbot. The free version is there, then you can go for a paid version also. It helps you to write anything, it check your grammar also, and it check plagiarism also. So this is very important tool. If you are not using it, buy it. Right now 30% discount is coming up, so just buy it. It will be very helpful. Remove BG. There are sometimes we need to remove the background. Just pinpoint few things which we usually face during the day-to-day life. So this is there, or you can just sign in with the Quillbot. You can enable it with your Gmail, your phone, your all devices. It will automatically correct your grammar. It will automatically correct your spellings. But still you do mistake, and there are your professors who help you out for this. So digital assessment. Now coming on to, I have given you the number of tools how to enhance learning, but there are a few tools, and this is very important thing, that is comes as assessment. No learning is complete without the assessment. So now only learners create learning, but teachers guide the process of responding to student performance. It's just a quote which I have mentioned here. Coming on to the next slide, we will have a number of, and these is all, I've used all these tools. I've mentioned that only. I'm not highlighting the so many things. This is each and every tool I've used. Kahoot, quizzes, Quizlet, Google Forms, Plickers. These are the tools which were very, very common in use when the pandemic stuck. But I have just used a little bit, few more during that time, and I've just penned down for you all so that you can enhance your learning and you can make the assessment very simpler and easier. So these tools help us to see assessment is a very integral part of any education system, be it a K-12 or a higher education. Number of say we have, even if we talk about the Gurukul time, that time also the assessment, when the Arjuna was told to just see the, and Arjuna told that I am just looking at the eye where I have to point my this arrow. So that was the assessment only. So that from that time to this time, assessment is very important, and this is the key area which we need to focus on. So we need to be, now the students are very intelligent. I know students how they create Discord channel during the pandemic time. Here the question paper comes, here the answer comes. So I know how these kids, this millennials, this generation Z, Y, you name it, anything, how intelligent they are to just, because this is how they are. They're native of this digital era. So these are the tools which you can apply and enhance your assessment process. Now I would like to take any questions, otherwise else. Any questions from the, any query from segment, from the online session, or those who are sitting here?
Any questions?
Yes, ma'am. I have one question. I am Dr. Shweta Bansal from the Armenian University.
Yeah. Yes,
ma'am. Sorry, I'm not able to turn on my camera this time.
It's okay.
Because internet issue at my side. Ma'am, as we discussed about the various countries, the AI of various countries, like as you have shown the data also that India has only one patent or one center of AI. So, is there any specific reason for that, or we can say that we are facing the challenges of languages in India, as India is a multilingual country. So, there are 22 official languages and various dialects, right? So that can be one of the problem for learning for AI to learn the database of various languages. So how can AI be used to improve the quality of education in regional languages in India?
I believe, Dr. Shweta, there are a number of edtech companies which are working on it. I myself using one AI tool to enhance the language skills, English and Sanskrit both. So this is lot of potential is there, and number of edtech companies are working towards it. So what we have to do is that we need to just talk to some companies wherein we say you are from the university, you know your problem where you are focusing on, but right now this language problem, even though when we work on the manuals, when we create for CBSE, we convert it into all the languages. So this is how the country as a policy, the Ministry of Education is working on. There are number of applications which are coming which are bilingual, and right now multilingualism has been promoted by the new education policy. So the focus on this has already started, but still it's a long way to go. Number of say you can hear, maybe this is one of the reasons which you have pointed out, but I don't feel like that the language is the reason of a less patent. Here the reason is something different. It is all about the thinking process, the way we are heading is still we need to change, and we need to work more on the problem oriented solutions. So we have to focus and we have to work like that. See, patent you got when you solve any problem, and that problem is to be generic. The very basic reason of getting a patent. So this is how, and I believe Sharma sir want to add something.
I think there is a tool which they call Duolingo.
Duolingo is
Which normally try to give many languages learning possibilities.
True, sir.
So, and there are a translation application also in many other institutions. I think this translation thing from the standard text in English could be translated in any language, regional language, but presently we don't Indian regional languages so that kind of a language.
Yeah.
But there is a tool which somebody tries to implement regional language, then that platform can be used. And would you like to intervene in this? That regional languages. So still the platform could be made. Translation is there, but translation from the standard text of the English language or French or other language, the possibility of translation is there. But the Indian regional languages is still a major challenge, and there the software the persons, those like Modia or other person, who has to work on how to use the platform to translate the languages, international or national language into regional languages. That is the challenge which we have to face. And unless that is being done, quality issues would remain.
Yeah, true, sir. You are absolutely right. Yes, sir. So there are centers has been set up for this reason. Duolingo is an app or is a tool to enhance your language skills. If you want to learn any language, say for example, Dr. Shweta, you want to enhance or you want to learn German. you use Duolingo app. But your question specifically that how is this a barrier? No, this is not. This is, you thought of that this might be the reason, but there are different reasons for less patent. This is what I believe. I hope I have answered your question.
Yeah. No, actually, if we are talking here about the Hindi language, right? So the Hindi language itself changes as the region changes. So might be for AI, the most important thing is the database. If until unless it provides the database will not be there, how the machine will learn the algo, right? It is not possible to learn. The learning will not take place.
You are right.
I think in India this is some major challenge which we are facing right now, and I am working in that. So I am working in Punjabi, Hindi, and Bengali language. So I am facing this problem right now in AI because the language changes as the state changes.
Yeah, see, lot of potential is there in this field, and still the work, there are centers are set up for this reason. You're absolutely right, but that comes under Boli. The Lipi is Devanagari and it is same. If you talk about Punjabi, the Gurmukhi is there, Uda, Ada, Idi, it will not change.
But dialects
yeah, dialects we don't talk about. When we talk about the language processors, we talk about Lipi. What is the when we say Devanagari or Gurmukhi, Tamil, I don't know, means these lipis has to be considered. So this is how they are working on, and there are tools which help us. Yes, right now in this case, human is still far better than the AI machine in this particular scenario.
Actually, we are talking about the needs, not the tech. Tech is fine.
There is a platform called Vernacular AI, which is Bangalore-based company, which is helping the business process outsourcing, the call centers for helping the vernacular Lipi to be converted into the AI database management system. That you may end up into that website. This is called vernacular.ai. It's a Bangalore-based company. Because the BPO was there for last so many years, for last 15 years, where the domestic call centers were typically managing with the call centers as well as the customer care relationship management, etc. So they do all this stuff. So translation, database management system, as well as customer handling, all these are based out of huge data as well as for helping the global context actually. So vernacular AI is something that you can work. There are so many of them. You will find.
You got the answer, I believe. Vernacular AI. You can use, and then you can connect to us if you find any difficulty. And I'll certainly share more on that. I've not touched on that. Thanks for sharing with me an important aspect. So I'll again search few more tools for that reason.
Sure.
Any other questions? Any other questions?
Yeah, Dr. Chiva.
Yeah.
There was an observation, a small story I want to tell.
Yeah.
I basically teach filmmaking. So I interviewed we had certain interviews and I told my students to transcribe them.
Okay.
Right? So they submitted their transcriptions. Then I told them all the transcriptions are in first person. Can I have them in third person? And then I got the interesting answer. We have got online tools which can convert audio into text, but we don't have any tool which can convert it into from first person to third person.
Yes, true.
So I realized that it is better that if we do hands-on. But then coming to the main issue, which I think in India we are facing, we are pirated software-driven country rather than having original softwares. And I have realized this after using MS Office for quite some time, that if you have the official version, it has got many things inbuilt in terms of facilitating things which today we credit AI tools to provide. So in your opinion, how do you think that what kind of mode that we can evolve where we can actually curb piracy which will enable learning for students as well as for the teachers? Because if we are using original softwares, we'll be able to use them in totality. Like for example, AI, like there is there is a software called, I think if I'm not wrong, it's called Vivo, no? It's a MS Office tool only. But if you have original version, you can use it and create programming charts in a jiffy. Otherwise, you end up using AI tools or spending time. Because I have experimented with certain AI tools and I realized that in some of them, there is a very huge learning curve. So, being a working professional, because all those who are attending this session are working teachers, professors. So, how to curb that learning curve? Or is there, because for original softwares you have tudes available from websites also. MS Office provides services like provides tudes and everything. So, how to do that? And as sir was also mentioning, Tableau based websites are there. So, these are again talking of softwares which you buy in original. You can work with them and you can learn while you're making things. So, what's your opinion on the piracy thing and how to handle the learning curve which AI tools usually have?
So first of all, piracy is a very sensitive issue and I will not debate on it being the leader in this caterers segment, because this is moreover specifically a policy of the institution. As an institution, I will go for pirated or not. It's totally depend on my funds, my revenue generation. You are absolutely right that the pirated softwares don't have all the benefits or all the tools. I am a Google certified educator and I know how to use Google Apps, as well as I am a Microsoft educator. I know Sway is far better than the PPT, PowerPoint. So there is no debate in it. And there are n number of facilities which are provided to you for that reason. But going for a pirated software or not, it's totally depend on the policy of the institution. There is no, I believe there is no discussion about it. Secondly, yes, AI tools can be helpful because the era has changed. Earlier, Adobe Illustrator, we used to have it. They all are, see, you need to pay the pirated, you buy these softwares, it's a heavy software. Right now, if you need a proficiency to the, say if you are in video making, you are in video making or so, you said Vivo also, there you need the proficiency to more than 100% efficiency or the effectiveness of that video and that. So, it's totally depend on where you are applying and how much important is that particular document is. Right now, if you talk about, if I have an iPhone 14 Pro, that particular megapixel and that quality of that particular phone is equivalent to the DXLR cameras. The movie created is, so it's
under proper lighting condition, that should be the
obviously under proper lighting condition, it is there, the complete focus, we need to have a light there, here, the focus should be absolutely right. But the kids has learned, you might have seen n number of reels on the Instagram. No one has used the professionals, this. But the second question to you is AI tools. Right now, there are web portals, AI tools which are available as a web tool which you don't have to buy, and these are working very well. And these are cost effective or low cost or no cost. So the people are basically taking help of the free tools rather than of going and buying these heavy softwares. But those who are in this business, it's totally depend on the where to use, what to use, how to use, what kind of a project you are working on, and what kind of institution you are with. So, as far as for a teacher, there are n number of web tools are there. For a student, because I will go for an online tool which is cost effective. As a student, I don't have a paying capacity. I don't want my parents to pay more.
For audio, video, we have industry standard free tools.
Yeah.
My question was, the second question was that there is a huge learning curve we have got with the AI tools.
Yeah.
How to manage it?
So, how to manage that learning curve is very much, the first thing is, this is a transformation, wherein you need to train your teachers first. To build that gap or to bridge that gap, the transformation of the teacher is essential first, then it will be transformed to the learner. This is the way, that's why I said that teachers has to be, this is what I follow in personally also in my school. I give them that this is the lesson plan, this is your tool to create your question paper, but my aim is that when you are in your classroom, as a trainer I tell them that when you are in a classroom, you must focus on the execution and you must focus on each and every learner. Your observation as a leader of the class is important. So right now, to bridge this learning, how to see, as I already discussed that we are not a native of this. So we need to take the training sessions, and I believe everywhere, in every institution, if we talk about K-12 or higher education, everywhere the more emphasis on training is going on. Because this is a transformation phase. The world has selected this generation to see that era and the era which we need to prepare these young learners, which is still we don't know what it will be. But we have to shoulder this responsibility that we will be ready to bridge this gap. What we have learned, we are ready to unlearn, relearn, and then we are preparing the learners for the future generation. So this is my answer to you is, sir, to bridge this gap or to make this learning curve more visible, or we need a training of the teachers or educators to that level that they are able to implement it as maximum as their learners are implementing. This is the important part. So the teacher role is now facilitator or curator. No more classroom dictations are required.
The last word that you use, the curator, that's going to be major.
Yes.
Major.
Yes, sir.
There is some question from.
I hope I have answered your question, sir. Yeah.
There's some question from there, sir.
So you asked two questions. Let me just try and address them with a slightly different lens. So the first question is piracy. So the beauty of this AI revolution is that this is disruptive, and this will throw up a totally new genre of models. Hear me out. Correct. So, for example, Microsoft Copilot is now would be now integrated into ChatGPT. Now, so I'm actually approaching this from a different lens. Now, to the point that Dr. Chimber was making, I mean, institutions, not all education institutions are funded to the extent that they can afford all these, enterprise licenses, which are, by the way, very expensive. I am part of a global Fortune 500 company. Even we are struggling with some of these Microsoft products, which are really expensive. So what do you do? So I think the beauty of this AI revolution is that it will throw up a whole genre of new monetization models, which are SaaS-based or cloud-based. So for example, you could definitely use Microsoft PowerPoint with all its bells and whistles to do all those presentations. At the same time, if you can't afford a PowerPoint with its scripts, with its translation capabilities, you could still go for a tool called Beautiful AI, or I think there's another one called Slide.io, which is now integrating with Google. So the whole beauty of this AI revolution is that it has everything for everyone. So if you are not an enterprise, you cannot afford Microsoft, no problem. There will be another tool which you can use to bypass some of these tools. Now, why are those tools gaining prominence? What's in for those tools? How do those tools make money? To answer your question on privacy, so what would happen is, today in today's world, data is the new oil. So companies like Beautiful AI or Slido.io, they learn by the inputs that you are putting in. So for example, on a day, 500 people are putting in information on chat GPT for them to actually make that presentation. So some of these tools, what now they are doing is, you put in the text and they'll cobble up a presentation for you. So what happens is, when 500 people are now putting in a particular amount of text on a particular topic, the machine is learning at the back end. What are those top of the mind topics for which people are preparing presentations? And all of that data is a gold dust. So people have different ways of making money, and that's where is the opportunity for entrepreneurs, for enterprising creative people like us, that if you cannot afford an expensive tool like PowerPoint, you don't have to go for a pirated tool. Go for tools that are available on cloud and so on and so forth. Well, you could have used earlier. The only difference was they were not AI enabled. Now today the tools are AI enabled, and it's a win-win for the company. They get unique perspectives, data from the customer. From your perspective, you get all the great stuff AI can do for you. Now, at the end of the day, all these executive assistants in big companies will vanish because AI is now the new executive assistant. Secondly, to answer your second point, that was, sorry, I forgot, learning curve. So that's a very interesting topic, and Pansar has been talking about this for a long time. Now, yes, with this, any disruption, like any other disruption, with this disruption also, there will be a steep learning curve. Now, what do you do? The first thing I think we should understand as our teacher entrepreneurs, that's the term we want to use, is that what is it we want to learn? What's worth learning? And that's a famous phrase that you will encounter from Pansar again and again. What is worth learning? So are tools that will get extinct in 6 months worth learning? Or are the traits like curiosity, critical thinking, or tools like creative thinking, computational thinking, these are the skills that are worth learning. So you talk in terms of learning new tools, but also at the same time you should talk about traits in terms of specific skills that would actually help you. A good starting point, if you want to understand what you should learn, is that WEF, World Economic Forum skill sets. Now, in terms of technical skills, how do you sort of append that learning curve? There are a few things. Number one, once you understand what is it you want to learn, the second step is that we should all, as a teachers, and I'll give you this idea. I shared this idea in one of the forums, and people kind of understood this, and there was a lot of feedback on this. So as teacher entrepreneurs, we should be now open to something called reverse mentoring. So what is reverse mentoring? Reverse mentoring is a big concept nowadays in corporates, where people who are in their 40s and 50s actually learn from people who are in 20s. Because this generation who are in 20s are very comfortable with the tools. They have grown with these tools like tools were off-season to them. So they have actually grown with these tools day in and day out. So if we are open to reverse mentoring, and if we are able to shed that baggage, or that, well, I am here, I have lived a great life, and I don't need to learn. Yeah, if you are willing to shed that baggage, and if we actually can imbibe that reverse mentoring sort of a mindset, that's a great way to learn. And of course, the other traits like curiosity. I mean, I really admire Pansar. He's always curious. I think the biggest thing in my head in today's day and age is being curious of what's happening around you, and automatically you will start picking up stuff. There's enough material there on YouTube on any topic. And if you really want to learn, there's no bar. But I think those are the couple of ideas that we can practically think about.
What I would like to add here is that it is very much essential.
I have a small point to add on the learning curve part of it. Actually, if you are permitted, there is a time. Can I?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But let them finish.
Yeah, I will just add to this is that this. Yeah, we have to ask the other side also. The learning curve part, how we measure is that through some activities. There is something called a trained incapacity. The trained incapacity part is being monitored very clearly, and when you are delivering the program, It is not only the theoretical part. How will you know that? This is just, she was talking about using the technological tools. Even after that, there is a proofreading that is required. Who can do a proofreading? Who has got an articulation skills, who has got the creative writing skills, who have got the thinking power. So the high order thinking skills should happen after the low order listening skills. These are certain areas where we will measure whether this person actually has got. And as she put right away, the important point is that it should start from the teacher, not from the learner. So within the learner, the teacher, the writing skills, the reading skills, the listening skills, when the teacher comes to the faculty room, are the age people thinking there or sitting there and writing a piece of a blog? Somebody is proofreading that, somebody is doing moderation on the articulation. Within the department, are we measuring the faculty's learning curve first? So that goes to the professional development, which talks, the NEP also is talking about continuous professional development, which she is capable of. She is a master of doing the professional development for the faculty actually. That's what she was saying. So she can well be invited for the higher education faculty training also going forward. So measurement tools are there, but the willingness to learn, non-resistant to change, and a mindset for removing the trait incapacity is what I would like to add. Thank you, Dr. Bala.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for adding this valid point. I just would like to add here the curiosity which he talked about. The major struggling part is, and I believe every leader who is listening here will second my opinion, that it is very difficult to create that in the educators, because they have their own mindset, and then sir always says unlearn, relearn. This is, I believe we have already have so many discussions in the learning 3-to-1 group also, that this is the era where we need to work on the unlearn and relearn part more for this generation. But the problem here is that we have a curiosity, that's why we all are here and attached in this course. But how you will generate that curiosity among others, that is the problem area. Because maybe as a teacher, I don't want to grow, I don't want to learn, I don't want to take the challenge. So how to tackle that? There is another thing, and this is very important aspect. So this is how you said reverse, but it is, if you talk to me as a leader, it is very difficult to say to any experienced teacher that now it's a time that whatever you have studied, it's not enough for you, you have to study again. So it is very, this is the area where we need to work on now. Because we have limited educators and we can't change the complete set of educators, and still the resources said, the statistics said that we are in a lack of good professors as well as teachers. So now over to the next question. Who has a query? Please ask. Who has a question? Anybody? Rohit sir. Yeah, please.
Yes, this is forgive my ignorance, but you mentioned the online tutoring, which also has using AI. So, how does it use AI for online tutoring, and is online teaching or tutoring is considered under AI? Because the first person involved on the other end who teaches.
See, there are the tools which are inbuilt in it. Basically, right now all these online tutoring tools are using AI as a tool to bridge the gap. For example, let me quote from the K-12 segment. For example, the child is practicing for polynomials of class 10th, and the child is repeatedly creating an error in doing plus minus. That means the concept of the child of class 6 integer is not clear, and it is closely connected. So what they do, they understand this, and then they give you, based on his performance in the test, they provide some resources related to the enhancement of that particular old topic which the child has done in class 6. So this is how these online tools are now becoming very common. And one more thing I would like to, anytime, anywhere. This is also, the child is now independent and they need freedom also. So these are the two important things, because one is anytime, anywhere. Second is they assist because they are studying their behavior. They have their some tools in that online tutoring systems which track on that the behavior of the child, what kind of mistake the child is doing. So what are the areas wherein the child need to focus on. So this is how they are implementing these tools. Yeah, I hope I've answered your question.
Can I also answer him?
Yeah, say hello.
Hello ma'am, hello everyone.
Yeah, hello.
Good morning to all. Byju and one more platform is there by Microsoft, which is known as e.com. So what they do typically is that they have machine learning algorithms. Okay. So what they do typically is that suppose the student has answered a set of questions, right? And there would be some questions would be right and some questions would be wrong. Okay. So now this test will be given by lakhs of students, right? So now what happens is that the patterns which will be formed, there would be clusters made out of that. Now and then this behavior is studied in the clusters. Okay. So next time when the test is given, a different test is given, then again the cluster is studied. No, in that particular cluster, then the second test is studied. So this is how they implement and study AI. Okay. This is another example of how Byju is studying AI. Right. Thank you.
Yeah, this is what I said, Snehal. Byju's, or there are, see, you name it, Vedantu, any tool you name it, they all are, this is why the all tools are famous. So, now, any other questions you have?
There is one question from Alka. Alka, were you asking some question? You raise your hand.
Alka.
And otherwise we'll close now for tea for 15 minutes. Any other question from the participants? I think Alka was raising the hand. Anyway, if there are no questions now, let's thank Dr. Chibber for making an elaborate presentation, and there is also the intervention by Snehal Moge and Dr. Moge and Mogia that made the discussion very lively, and she has elaborately discussed the tools which could be used for different purpose in higher education, and these tools are very useful, and luckily discussion took place with regard to piracy and other thing, that there are certain tools which are open source, which we call open source. ChatGPT up to 3.5 is open source. ChatGPT after 4 is paid source. So you will find this kind of situation arising at lower level. All software which you find it either Grammarly or any other software which are helpful would be free. And then they become free premium. What is free premium? So you learn free, but if you want to go further, then you pay the premium.
Yes.
So that would be there. So we break now for 15 minutes and then reassemble.
Half an hour break.
Half an hour. Okay. We will meet at.
I'd like to share a quote here which I have written. A teacher, last slide, yeah. When a teacher teaches, it's like the whole world preach. I have just written tools, you can add AI also. Tools are just the way an opener like a hole out of pitch. So this is when opener is there, so it's a whole world is there. So I've just added 2 lines. That's what I would like to share with you all. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone.
Thank you. We break for tea. We meet at 12. आपने आधा घंटे कह दिया तो तुम
one second. बोला तो है नहीं. Thank you.